Hi, welcome to another edition of the Alan Rosenberg Show. So I got my Exile on Main Street shirt and outer shirt on and my Stones hat because I'm going to be doing another Stones video, but one I've never done before. I did a video, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago on my 10 favorite album covers. I like that video. If you go into my playlist, look under favorite album covers, you'll see it there, and I do my 10 favorite. There was one Stones album in there. You know the Stones are my favorite band by far, but one part of the Stones where they don't always live up to expectations, at least my expectations, is on their album covers. It's the damnedest thing, considering I think they have the greatest logo, certainly in rock and roll history, but yet their album covers, certainly in the last couple of decades, have been kind of nyeh. So I thought it would be fun. Originally I was going to do a video where I'd pick out my 10 favorite Stones album covers and maybe 10 of my least favorite. But there's like 20 right there. I'm like, you know what the hell? Let me quickly go through all their official albums, the studio records, the main live ones, none of the archive bootleg, official bootleg stuff. And let's go through them real fast. And I'll make a quick pile live. I'll make a pile of stuff that I really think is great, stuff that I really don't like, and the rest are just kind of perfunctory. You know, they did the job. And then I think it'll be more fun for you because I love when you watch my videos and you comment, and you might completely disagree, and that's great. I love the give and take. So maybe you'll see an album cover I didn't choose, and you'll be like, what the hell, man, that's a great cover, or a really shitty cover. So that's the idea behind it. So without further ado, I don't want this video to be too long. Let's get started, and I'm going to start at this gigantic pile, and I'm going to start with vinyl, and then we'll wind up at CDs at the end. Now, we'll start with this one. This is from the Mono Box, you know, this really good Mono Box. This was a revolutionary cover before my time because I was only 1 year old, but the Rolling Stones' very first album, the UK version, this is the mono version from the Mono Box. And you'll notice something about that first album. There's no writing on there. And in its time, that was pretty ballsy, pretty revolutionary from the Stones. This is the Stones' very first album in the UK. It doesn't say the Rolling Stones on the front, doesn't have a name. It's just the Stones' first album. And pretty cool album cover and pretty ballsy. Now, the Stones' second album in the UK did the same thing. Here's the Stones' second album. Nothing on the cover. A lot of people may have forgotten that or may not realize it. But yeah, their first two albums in the UK don't say Rolling Stones. They just have their picture. And kind of historic in its time. So I thought I would mention that. Now in the US, here's their first album cover. And you'll notice it's like that, but in the U.S. it's got English News Hitmakers, the Rolling Stones. So, you know, more standard. Again, it's a good album cover, perfunctory. All these original Stones album covers are fine. There is the Stones' second U.S. album, 12 by 5, and there's the picture from Rolling Stones 2 from the U.K. So in the U.S., same picture, but it's got the graphics on there. And you got the Rolling Stones now. These are all, in my mind, kind of typical black and white, moody Rolling Stone shots. You know, and they're good. They're really good album covers. You know, they do the job. Out of Our Heads, the U.S. version. There's Keith in the front, and his face is a little broken out. And that's cool. You know, it's showing they're raw. Here's December's Children, the U.S. version, another really good black and white cover. All black and white covers until you get to U.S. Aftermath. It's got the blurry cover featuring Painted Black. Another real good album cover. None of these would be great, so I'm just kind of putting them in a pile here. You won't see them again. They're kind of like doing the job. Here's Got Live If You Want It. I kind of like that as an album cover. I don't think it's great, but it's, you know, that's what I like that in an album cover that's live. It shows them live. The cover of Big Hits was good. It's got the book inside, but we're just talking about the covers. Here's Between the Buttons, an interesting one. I thought it was kind of cool with Keith all the way to the end there, kind of blurry and really tiny writing over there. The Rolling Stones Between the Buttons. Between Charlie's buttons, I guess. cool cover. Flowers, thought that was a good cover too. None of these, to me, reached the level of outstanding, and all of these is way before the Stones' Tongue, you know. So now you get to their Satanic Majesty's Request. This, I think, is a really great cover. So this, I'm going to put it in the really good pile. You know, obviously kind of a knockoff in a way, influenced by, obviously, Sgt. Pepper's. But it works, you know. The cover totally fits the music. You know, and you got the hidden there, the 4 Beatles. Can you see them? Right there. So, you know, on Sgt. Pepper's, it has like the doll that says, "We love the Rolling Stones," or "Welcome the Rolling Stones," if I remember right. And here they stuck the pictures of the Beatles on the cover. So, and then, of course, the original 3D. It's the same cover, but, you know, the 3D. So, Satanic Majesties, I'm going to put in a pile of covers I love. Now, Beggar's Banquet's an interesting one. This is a Japanese version of it. I got a lot of versions of Beggar's Banquet. But, you know, that album came out in 1968, and it was delayed and delayed and delayed because the Stones wanted a different cover, and the record company, London, would refuse to release it. So eventually the Stones caved to get this thing out in 68. Came out around the time of the White Album. And this was the cover, you know, just a invitation, basically, font, RSVP to see the Beggar's Banquet. And there, the gatefold's really good because there's your decadent Rolling Stones Beggar's Banquet. But the cover on the outside, just kind of a invitation, kind of a letdown. So I think it's just okay. But, you know, I love the original cover, which eventually the record company allowed them to release. So now when they put out the newer, you know, remastered versions, you finally get what the cover was supposed to be. This is the SACD DST ABCO remaster, which is incredible. And I love this cover. This is what it was supposed to be, but way too outlandish in 1968. Love this cover, you know, and you read the graffiti, Bob Dylan's Dreams, right there as it goes down the toilet, you know, and then the credits are sprawled out over there. There's a drawing of a naked woman up there. This is a great album cover, I think. So let's put this on the pile with Satanic Majesties, but not the white version. Let's keep going. Where are we up to? Like 1969, and Let It Bleed. Now, Let It Bleed's a weird one because it's a cool cover, right? It was an actual cake that was made, and it's got like a bicycle wheel, and you know, it's just like really bizarre. And there's the flip side. It's a cool cover, except that it makes absolutely no sense for Let It Bleed. So why do they have that cover? Well, the original album title, the working title of Let It Bleed, was supposed to be Automatic Changer. Now, if you know what an automatic changer is, that's the automatic changer. Back in my time, even in the late 60s, early 70s, the record players had that long spindle. And we were just music fans. We would play records as opposed to hoarding them and, you know, using fine gloves. We used to pile them up on the spindle. And when one side record would end, the next one would drop down and it would really crash down. And then the changer would play it and then it would come to the end. And then the next record would drop down and you would hear it go landing on top of the other one. That was called an automatic changer. And that's what this cover is, an automatic changer. So if you didn't know that, hopefully I'm teaching you something kind of cool. So Let It Bleed, the cover, would be a fantastic cover for Automatic Changer. But it's Let It Bleed. It makes no sense. So, you know, for that reason, I'm just going to put it on perfunctory. It did its job, but it's not an Automatic Changer. This is a cool cover. I love the design with the octagon through the past darkly, with their faces smushed. But again, it wouldn't go down as like a great cover. I just love there's the flip side. Cool cover. Certainly does a job, and I dig it. This is a good one. I like this one. Get your eyes out is definitely a different kind of cover. It's kind of strange because it's the Rolling Stones in concert, you know, Madison Square Garden. The back of the album is better, I think, because that's what you're looking at. There's the Stones live, and that's really, really exciting. But I do like the front of the cover, and here's the, where is it, over there? The box set that came out much later. You know, if you ever watch Gimme Shelter, the movie Gimme Shelter, they show them shooting that, and it's kind of fun. So I kind of dig that. Charlie's got like a shirt that's got boobs on it. I'll put this on the pretty good pile, really good pile. Next up, Sticky Fingers. I got to show this from a distance. Apparently, people get their videos banned because you can't show a guy in tight jeans. Ugh, don't get me started. But, you know, this is one of the great albums. Did I got to cover this guy? So this is one of the great covers of all time. I'm not going to unzip it because I definitely can't show the guy in his underwear, where it leaves less to the imagination. But this is one of the great covers of all time. Sticky Fingers is everything you'd want from a Rolling Stones cover. It's decadent, it's sexy, and there's no song tracks. Did you notice that? No song tracks on there, which was pretty unique at its time. You know, Beggar's Banquet's got song tracks. All the other albums do. Let It Bleed. Now you get the Sticky Fingers. No mention of songs. Keep that in mind. Now I love the Spanish cover too. There's the Spanish cover of Sticky Fingers, and it's really weird and bizarre, but I totally dig it. I'm wearing this shirt for a reason. This album cover shouldn't work, but it works perfectly for the album because Exile on Main Street takes you on a journey and a trip with weird characters and weird music, and that is what this cover originally from, you know, all these photographs by Robert Frank, you know, just a conglomerate of it, and it works so well. This is a first pressing of Exile. I got it, you know, 73, 4, something like that. So there you go. It opened this way. And I love the packaging of Exile on Main Street. You know, this is one of those covers that I really did used to sit there and look at and read. You know, it's got some quotes from the songs. This is the Innisley is in the postcards are in here as well. It's just a really, really cool package. It really shouldn't work because it's not nice on the eyes or anything like that. Sweet Taste of Joy, you know, from a movie theater in LA. But it really works for some reason. And the writing on there, great album cover. Ugly shirt, but a cool shirt. Exile on Main Street. Let's keep going. We're going to stick with the regular ones. This is some UK compilations, but we're not going to count those. So we'll keep going. What are we up to, like 73? Let's pull this down. So 73 is going to be Goat's Head Soup. Goat's Head Soup's interesting because I love the insert. I think the cover's actually pretty decent. You know, it's weird. But I don't know. I liked it back then. I still kind of like it now. I'm not going to put it in like a favorite pile, and I'm not going to put it in a pile that I don't like. It's good, but this I love. This was the insert, and I have a bunch of them because this is my original album. I had this thing hanging on my wall. Again, we used to hang posters, not save them, and I love this cover. Now I notice when I go to some record stores here on Long Island, they have Goat's Head Soup, a newer vinyl version, and it's got like a black cover, and it's got this as the cover. I think it looks great. I love that. I don't know if that's authorized. Did they actually reissue this thing? I haven't bought it. But, or is it like one of these gray market bootleg pirated kind of things? But it works. Goat's Head Soup with the goat would definitely be in a favorite for mine. But as it stands now, it's good. The next one's a real favorite of mine, and that's It's Only Rock and Roll. I love this cover. I think Guy Pollard, the guy who did Rock Dreams, did it. I think this is an amazing cover. I don't know why people don't talk about this cover more. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, love it. And here's the back. So the Stones walking down like gods with all these damsels in distress, minstrel ladies, you know, and then what's left of there. Again, you're going to notice Sticky Fingers, Exile on Main Street. Where is it? Right there. No song listing. And Goat's Head Soup. No songs listed. It's Only Rock and Roll. No songs listed. Isn't that interesting? You know, that's kind of confidence, right? That they're not even putting any songs on these things. No title here either. It's Only Rock and Roll. It's on the back. So, interesting cover. I love that cover. I put it Metamorphosis in as an official album. It was released by ABKCO, Alan Klein. But, you know, I love this album, and I love the cover. As weird as this cover is, and it is goddamn weird. It doesn't say the Rolling Stones, it just says Metamorphosis. But I like that cover. But it wouldn't be a favorite, so we'll stick it on this pile. But it's a cool one. Made in the Shade was a greatest hits album on Rolling Stones Records. Came out in '75. I always thought this was weird. You know, it's that glam kind of period around '75. It's got the little tongue right there. Kind of like a guyish looking David Bowie-ish hairdo, but obviously a woman's body in the desert soaking up sun next to the pyramids. It's kind of strange, but, you know, it kind of works. Wouldn't be one of my all-time favorites. Road Gold, that was a collection. Black and Blue is a cover I think's really good. It's the first time, and again, still no song titles. Here's the cover of Black and Blue. No song titles again. But it's the first time there's the Stones on a cover for the first time in a long time. And you got Ron Wood there, who, you know, toured with the band in '75 and '76. He's kind of an official member at this point, because in '75 he was just a guest guitarist. So clearly if he's on the cover. But the funny thing is, when you look at the tracks, he didn't contribute that much. And the inside, they're doing some kind of light thing, and Genesis did that 2 years later with And Then There Were Three. I think Black and Blue is a really cool cover. It's just, I don't know. I like it. It's a good shot. So maybe I'll put this in like the better covers that I really like. Let's see how this works out. Next up is a live album, and I love this cover too. It's Andy Warhol and Love You Live. I don't know why I love this cover so much. I just think it's really cool. I really do. It doesn't make really much a hell of a lot of sense with them biting each other. That's the gatefold. But the cover, yeah, I totally dig it. And I'm totally putting this in a favorite of mine right over there. Next up, these are a bunch of singles. Skip that. We get to Some Girls. Now, I got the two versions. This is the original first pressing when it first came out, and with the band cover. And when this first came out, I thought it was really strange. You know, it was like those wig kind of bra ads in these women's type magazines. But, and then you get the song titles for the first time on the back. So it's the first time in a long time since Let It Bleed that they actually have the song titles on the covers. So this is like a bra ad. Here's like a wig ad. But I like that it's die cut. Of course, you know, Physical Graffiti, Led Zeppelin had the die cut 3 years earlier. But it kind of works. Some Girls, and it fits in with the pattern. And is a really clever cover. So I'll put this in the covers that I really do like. This was a different color, and this is what it looked like after they banned that cover. But I would put that in there. Now we get to 1980, and we're at Emotional Rescue. Now, Emotional Rescue was originally packaged in the shrink wrap like this. It's got this, had like 12 potential covers, I guess it was, because it came with this poster, and they would mix up what would be there. And then once you open the shrink, you know, this was the actual cover, and then you kept the poster. This poster's never been hung by me, so it's in mint shape. I don't like this cover. And I'm actually going to put this in the pile of covers I don't like. I thought it was weird then, you know, the video. They had a video with the thermographic videos, and I guess that was modern technology at that time, so the Stones were kind of being, hey, check out us in thermographics, but I don't know. I didn't really care for it, still don't really care for it, and so there's Emotional Rescue, and I'm going to put that in covers that I don't like, which is going to be, how about we put that over here? And let's keep going. What am I up to, 1980? So we're going to keep going. Let's grab this pile. And we'll see. I'm doing this live as I always do, you know, see how this works out. This is just an anthology. We're not even going to include that. It's kind of an okay cover. Yeah, you get to Tattoo You. Now, Tattoo You, 1981. I I got to be honest with you. I never cared for this cover. You know, the fact that it's just got Mick Jagger on the cover was a little bit odd, maybe. But it doesn't really look like Mick Jagger. His hair's slicked back. You know, the tattooing is really cool, but I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me. The Keith one appealed to me much better, actually. The Keith side is really cool. The whole artwork on this album is just strange. You know, there's the record sleeve, and it's just got that boot with the hoof. I don't know. You know, it's just a weird thing. No pictures of the other Stones. I just was never a fan of the cover of Tattoo You. Love the album. I think the album's incredible. But I'm going to put this over here. And a lot of people think Tattoo You is an amazing cover, but I just thought it was weird. Here was the single of Start Me Up, which was just that boot kind of a thing. Next up was a compilation, Suckin' in the 70s. Funny thing was I actually kind of like this cover. I mean, I'm just going to put it in the pile where it did its job. But it's real basic. But it had this sticker. There's the sticker. And it came like that. And I thought that was kind of cool. I love the Stones logo. And it's kind of interesting that they just don't really use it that often on their album covers. Certainly not on the studio records. So I thought that was kind of cool. That was one of the first times you really saw the Stones song. So I thought it did its job. I like it. Next up was Still Life. Never a really big fan of this cover as well, but it certainly captured the tour because this was the background of the tour at that time. You know, they were playing stadiums, and they had this big, like, hanging thing, and that was what it kind of looked like, this drawing. But, you know, American Concert 81, Still Life, it does the job, what it's supposed to do. I don't think it's terrible. I just don't think it's particularly good. And there's another version with the picture disc and then some singles, you know, from that time. But it's just okay. Now we get to a cover. It is Undercover Tonight, the 12-inch single. I love this cover. A lot of people don't like this cover, but I think this is a really cool cover. And I keep it in the shrink. There's the hype sticker. And then you take the album out, and it's still got the stickers on them. I've never peeled them off. So you got like this naked woman covered by stickers with the Stones, and on the cover, you get to see a tush on the back with a little Stones tongue on it. I dig this cover. To me, this is a very, what I would think is like a Rolling Stones cover. Yeah, I like it. The inside, I don't know what the hell to make of that. But I will put Undercover under the cover of album covers that I really like from the Stones. So let's put that on that pile. So far we're doing pretty good. There's a couple there that I really love and a couple so far that I don't like. But we'll see what happens. There's the She Was Hot 12-inch. That was great. Too Much Blood 12-inch. Rewind, we'll just throw that on to another best of. Now you get to Dirty Work. I did a whole video on Dirty Work. This is in the original red shrink. So it kind of covers that Day Glow awful cover. This album cover completely is perfect for what this album is. It's of its time. I think it's the worst Stones album, studio record. It's still good, you know, but it's definitely, I think, the worst Stones studio record. And I would have to say this is the worst Stones cover, or way up there. I mean, it just... The band doesn't like each other. They look like they're a mess. They're separate on that couch in Day Glow colors, and that's showing you what's in the groove. So let's put that on that pile. There's the Harlem Shuffle 12-inch. That's a great cover. That's just a 12-inch. One Hit to the Body. That was a good cover too. But we're talking about albums. All right, now you get more to the modern age, and we're going to get to Steel Wheels. And I was thrilled when it came back in '89 with this album. I think it's actually a strong album. It's kind of dated now. But I didn't think much of the cover. I mean, it's just Steel Wheels. I don't know. I just didn't think much of this cover. And I'm going to put it in the pile of albums that I don't really like. Covers. There's Rockin' a Hard Place. Let's keep going. From that tour, they did Flashpoint. And they released this album cover. And I was like, really? It was an amazing tour. But based on that cover, it's kind of, and that was the flip side of the cover. Yep, I give that a thumbs down too. What are we up to? That was Steel Wheels. What are we up to? We are up to Voodoo Lounge. So Voodoo Lounge is now my really liked. And there's the cover. And I didn't think much of that cover either. This yellow man kind of a guy. There's the tongue. They had the spiky tongue, which was kind of cool. But that cover, didn't really care for. I'm going to put it on that. You know, it wasn't... No, I'm not going to put it on that. It's not terrible. I'll put it on, like, perfunctory. But it could have been so much more. This is a sampler called Voodoo Lounge, a sampler. Kind of a rare promo CD. There's your cover, by the way, of Voodoo Lounge. That should have been the cover. What's better? You tell me. How do I do this? What's better? You know what's better. The skeletons are better. What are you going to do? All right, we'll put Voodoo Lounge over there. Jump Back was a collection. Terrible cover. Rock and Roll Circus at some point was released. That's a cool cover. But, you know, it's kind of its own thing. Perfunctory, we'll say. Now, they come back and they do Bridges to Babylon. God, I hated this cover. This is the one, the original, you know, first pressing came in a slip case. Maybe make it a little bit fancy. It is the hype sticker. I do not like this cover at all. I have the concert t-shirt, which I bought from that concert. I can't even wear this t-shirt. I think it's so ugly. So this is a cover I really dislike. Bridges to Babylon. I missed a couple here. Hot Rocks. That's a really cool cover. I don't know if people realize it. There's 5 different Stones there. You got Keith in the middle, Charlie. Who else is that? Mick Taylor, Bill, and Mick Jagger's on the outer side. I think it's actually a really cool cover. More Hot Rocks, just okay cover. But I would put that on perfunctory as well. Sextra, what do we got? Say to Me, we don't need to talk about these. Living in a Ghost Town, that was a nice cover. I like finally using the Stones tongue. Did I cover everything? No, a couple more here. Just a couple more, and then we'll be done. After Bridges to Babylon, they did the No Security live album. It's a live album that I actually really like. But I certainly don't like the cover. I have a lot of different versions of No Security. This is like a 3 CD version I got. But as one falls out, I got a bunch of them. But that's the main cover. And God, yuck. Honk, that was a greatest hits kind of a collection. Don't like that cover at all. Let's keep going. 40 Licks, that was a decent cover. It's not great, but a nice use of the tongue for 40 Licks. Give that okay. Live Licks, well, I'm showing the one with the, she's got a top on. There's a version without a top on. It's kind of an anime cover. It's okay. Not too special. I'll put that as perfunctory. What was this? Rarities. Well, they took Bill Wyman out, so I thought that was kind of nasty. Let's get rid of that. Now you get to Bigger Bang. You know, do you like Bigger Bang's cover? I don't. I don't think it's a bad cover. I'm going to put it under, like, perfunctory, like, but I just don't think it's a particularly good cover now. You know, let's say looking at the Bigger Bang in amazement. I don't know. On the back cover, you can't even read the words. It's such small writing. Nah, not thrilled with this cover. Should I put this on covers I don't like? Nah, it's not that bad, but it's okay. Shine a Light, that's just an album cover of a live one. Blue and Lonesome, believe it or not, I actually think this is a nice cover. I think it fits it perfectly. I even like the inner gatefold, but we're talking about the outer covers. And you just don't ever see the Stones on a studio record using the tongue, but on this they did. And I think it worked really well. It's just, I like it. Do I think it's great? No. But I'll leave it on the good pile, the okay pile. Stones on Air, that's all right, 60 shot. And ladies and gentlemen, Rolling Stones, for me, that's what a live album cover should look like. Unfortunately, it's a horrible live CD, recorded terrible. I don't understand why, but it's a terrible sounding CD, but it's a great cover. But I'm not putting on the favorite. And El Macambo, I love this album. Thought the packaging of this was really subpar. I mean, who's doing their album designs, man? This was the cover. It doesn't showcase 77 of El Macambo. Did nothing for me, but it's not terrible. This is terrible. Grr. I have a concert t-shirt from this tour. I can't even wear that either. Gregory, they call this guy, the gorilla. Ugh. Definitely in the pile that I don't like. that pretty much covers it. So, what do we got live in the CD, in the album covers that I really don't like? Let me see. We got Gurr. We got No Security. We got Bridges to Babylon. We got Flashpoint. We got Steel Wheels. We got Dirty Work. We got Tattoo You, believe it or not. And we got Emotional Rescue. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 made that I really don't like. All right. What are the ones that I really do like? We got Undercover. Not Emotional Rescue. Some Girls. It's 2. Love You Live. 3. Black and Blue. 4. It's Only Rock and Roll. 5. Exile on Main Street. 6. Sticky Fingers. 2 different versions. We'll go with, that's 7. Get Your Eyes Out. 8. The remake of Beggar's Banquet, which should have been the original cover. 9. Oh, this worked out perfectly. And Their Satanic Majesty's Request. 10. So 10 album covers that I really, really like. What did we say? 8 that I really, really dislike. And you're wondering, where's Hackney Diamonds? There's Hackney Diamonds. Hackney Diamonds I'm going to put in perfunctory. It's actually kind of a cool cover, but at the same time I don't like it. And the reason why I don't really like it, it doesn't say anything to me about what this album is. It's kind of like the new Rolling Stones. After the death of Charlie Watts, it's an emotional return. They played live. They got Steve Jordan playing most of the drums. And it's a welcome back, and it's a killer album. But I don't see any of that in the cover. In the interviews, they kind of made it clear they were looking for a name, and they kind of came up with Hackney Diamonds, and they're explaining what Hackney Diamonds are. And I guess the cover goes perfectly for Hackney Diamonds, what it is. But as a Rolling Stones cover, I don't really care for it. So there's where Hackney Diamonds is. Now there's 2 other ones you're going to notice. Sometimes bootleg albums have the best covers. This is a great live album cover. This is a bootleg from the Stones live in 1969. Classic, Liver Than You'll Ever Be. There's a lot of different versions. Love this cover. But what's the best album cover besides It's Only Rock and Roll? It's this one, the flip side of Nicaraguan benefit concert. It's called All Meat Music. William Stout did the cover, and there's a great cover. Winter Tour, 1973. There's an amazing, and he does a drawing for each of the songs. That's a great album cover. So, end it with a treat. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching the whole thing. Let me know your favorite Stones covers and the ones that you really dislike. And what did I get right? What did I get wrong? Hope you like my Exile shirts. And most importantly, what do I always say? Stay safe, stay healthy, keep watching. And if you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe. I got a lot of Rolling Stones videos. Hit playlists and you'll see Rolling Stones video playlists. And there's a ton to watch. Most importantly, I'll see you around next time on the Alan Rosenberg Show.